In this video, we'll be taking a look at the concept of headless commerce, how it's implemented in LiveArea's FastTrack B2B Commerce accelerator, and what that means for projects built on FastTrack. A traditional SAP Commerce site uses a technology called JSP, or Java Server Pages. Page layout and content are generated on the server, then provided to the user's web browser as HTML and JavaScript. The server may do different things based on the device type that's accessing the site, or the styling of the pages may change for different devices or screen sizes, but the client itself has very little say in the matter. What we mean by a headless architecture is something different. In a headless situation, the server provides only the content of a page, usually in a format like JSON, but it knows nothing about what the client actually does with that content. This means the front-end behaviors and rendering can all be handled by any technology on any client platform without impacting the back-end server at all. Let's look at an example of this in action on our Hearthstone Restaurant Supply demo site. First, we have the traditional JSP version of the Hearthstone B2B site, but let's say that Hearthstone Restaurant Supply also wants to sell directly to consumers B2C. Their B2C site has different design goals and certainly needs different functionality than their B2B offering. Because the back-end server built on FastTrack exposes API endpoints for headless commerce, our restaurant store is able to use SAP's AngularJS Spartacus framework to design an entirely new B2C-focused storefront located on an entirely separate system found at spartstone.com. Now we can see as we navigate the site that the content is virtually identical to the JSP site because they're using the same product catalog and so forth. But on the B2C site, if we log in as a user, we notice that Hearthstone Restaurant Supply hasn't implemented any of the B2B specific features on this site. That's because the B2C client just isn't built to ask the headless backend for any of that. What's more, the B2C storefront is a completely separate piece of software decoupled from the backend server, so it can change and evolve without the need to rebuild and retest and redeploy the main server. And not only that, this arrangement provides several other benefits as well. First, you can deploy even more storefronts, as many as you want, for other markets or other platforms. Second, while this demo uses AngularJS and Spartacus, you can use any front-end technology, even native apps for various devices. So as the state-of-the-art moves forward, the front-end isn't tied to the back-end with old technology. And finally, from a front-end developer standpoint, it's trivial for any developer to run their own front-end on their local machine, but all point back to one central back-end server. No more struggling to set up lots of different development servers for lots of different team members. Finally, I want to demonstrate one additional feature of SAP's headless commerce that other headless platforms don't have, and that's compatibility with existing CMS and content management tools. If you've used a modern version of SAP Commerce before, you're familiar with SmartEdit for content management. In other commerce implementations, going headless usually means giving up familiar tools like this. But in FastTrack and in SAP Commerce, the headless content is managed the same way you're used to seeing on the traditional JSP site. For instance, if I select the Spartacus content catalog here, I can browse to the site front page. And maybe I've decided I want to make a quick change to my site. So I'll come down here, and I'll say I'm going to edit this heading. And instead of new arrivals, I want it to say, what's new? I simply make the change in SmartEdit and save the page, and now it shows up on the live site. So the tools I'm already accustomed to using still work in the headless world. If you'd like to learn more about FastTrack and try out the Headless Commerce demo site for yourself, go to spartstone.com. Then go to the traditional JSP demo at fasttrack.liveareacx.com to compare.